Well, we've talked here, and this is we could spend hours talking about this, but this mad, insane, Great Reset, World Economic Forum idea of eating bugs and insects. We've talked about it before. It sounds like some dystopian fantasy novel, but it is happening. And the reasons are, well, they're complex, but they're all to do with trying to wean people off meat. We've seen in Holland the attack on farmers and so on. That's a bigger subject. But what we've seen, James, is 1,000 Australian schools now being fed insects the other day. Have a look.
Like them, Annabelle? You like them? Yeah, they're great.
What do you like best about them, What do you like best, Emmy?
Whether it's science, it's just this endless indoctrination about catastrophic climate change, what you can do, what we've all got to do, how guilty we are, then it really is providing the kids with very little choice.
And this is, one of the things that Julia Gillard built into the national curriculum, which the coalition never unwound.
There's a surprise. You knocked me over with a cricket. I know, seriously.
With the cross-curricular priorities, which are, about environmentalism, Asian culture, and Indigenous affairs. So basically, teaching kids, your culture, your country is illegitimate, your culture's, your European heritage is not, legitimate, and of course you're killing the planet. So that comes through in every single lesson.
But I repeat what I...
Well, if I didn't gross you before with the snail story back a bit, I'm about to gross you out now about insects in our school system. But once again, thank you for tuning in to Man with the Show. Don't forget that like, subscribe, share. Thank you for tuning in. We're about around 30 before we hit 600. Thank you for those of you who have subscribed. I'm so happy that I've earned your subscription to our channel. I thank you. I thank all those on all social media platforms. Now, this has been coming out for quite some time. And one thing I'm going to tell you, do your research and be very wary where you get your research from. Because unfortunately, when you go try to find more information, you get information saying that it's okay, this is fine, you can eat these things, it's okay. See, the push to change the world, the Great Reset, they're calling it. One of the things that, and I'm glad someone's finally woken up and is telling the truth out there on certain things, especially on climate change, that, you got people out there who are, that have taken advantage of the situation. And the real truth of it is not as dire as they say. The one thing that they, and I gotta laugh. I gotta really, truly laugh at some of the things that they're talking about recently. And one of the things is that they want to stop the cows from farting. Do you understand what that is? Do you understand that passing gas is a natural occurrence in the body, whether you're human, whether you're animal, we're going to fart no matter what. Especially for what we eat, yes, and they're natural gases. But the thing about it is, you have to remember one thing. You have also methane that comes out of this, that comes out of us in a way, because through the poop that we put out, through the sewer mains and all that. Are you going to try to stop those gases? No, you can't. You can't. It's just something part of life. And they tell you, well, we shouldn't be eating meat. Why? Who told you this? Vegans? A lot of vegans that I know are not as healthy as you think. I've had friends of mine and stuff like that that have eaten vegan diets. And guess what? They end up in the hospital and the doctor says, well, you need to eat some meat. You need to eat some fish. You need to eat some beef. I had a friend of mine's look healthy, a bodybuilder, look like really good. Very rarely eat meat. Very rarely. Got iron deficiency. And you might say, oh, well, you could take some pills. And you know what the doctor told me? He says, well, you could take the pills, but you're going to need to eat a steak at least once a week. You're going to need to eat a steak with not so much fat, like a sirloin steak once a week, not a big one, like little 8 ounces, but you're going to need to eat some meat in your system. Our systems are tooled to eat certain ways. Changing the tools to this could hamper dangers. And you hear the whole situation with the insects that, oh yeah, you can eat a grasshopper and stuff like that, and it'll be fine and stuff like that. But there are invisible things that we don't see that are in insects that may do danger to us because not enough fucking research has done. Now, in Australia, this is out of Spectator Australia, 1,000 Australian schools are fed insects. I mean, this is like, wow. Really? Truly? Are you keen to chow down on micro livestock? A teacher from one of the 1,000 Australian schools feeding kids chips made out of powdered crickets asked, do crickets taste good? The student nods, and the teacher adds, yeah, let's eat some more crickets. Bugs are on the menu again. Why does the World Economic Forum have such a weird obsession with making our kids eat them? First, let me make something very clear. Bugs are not food. You should not be eating bugs. They are insects. They belong on the ground or in the air or wherever the heck they live. They do not belong on your dinner plate. With that out of the way, we can move on with the insanity being encouraged by an unhinged scientist of allies of the World Economic Forum. There is no doubt that the World Economic Forum's like bugs, but only if other people are eating them. And this is true. You think the richest guys in the world are eating bugs in their home, the ones that are promoting this? No, fuck no. The reasoning for this hypocrisy is what you expect from the people who have always seemed to be plotting to take over the planet and shape it into a full-blown socialist utopia, which is one of the greatest oxymorons ever heard. You will eat bugs to stop climate change. Climate change is nothing more than an exaggeration of the weather. The weather is not going to kill you unless you have the misfortune to get struck by lightning, hit on the head by a hailstorm, or caught in a flood. Chances are a warm summer's night is not going to act like a local axe murderer. I like this person who wrote this. Bad energy policy is a different matter. You might freeze to death if you have no heating in your home, which ironically is the same bug pushers who now want to take away. Switzerland has threatened to throw people in prison for 3 years if they turn their heating to 19 degrees Celsius or around 66 Fahrenheit. But back to the bugs. You might be wondering, how will eating bugs change the weather? The World Economic Forum line is that eating meat is accelerating the effects of climate change. Therefore, to fix the climate, humans need to reduce the consumption of meat and replace it with climate-friendly substitutes. There are a few on the offer, but the favorite is insect protein. These agenda-driven bureaucrats are doing their best to promote the insect gorging as being the best good for you. If you believe the hype, they're nutritious, full of protein, and still very tasty, and there's a great range of bugs out there for you to try. You could eat crickets or grind them up into powder to replace plain white flour or self-raising flour. What's wrong with the normal flour? You could even make an attempt some highly nutritious cockroach milk in your cereal. Maybe you'll enjoy a bit of seasoning on your meals. Well, instead of getting out the salt and pepper, grab some of those light acidic ants instead. You could even top those meals off with some protein-packed mealworm. No, I'm not kidding. This is serious and what they want you to be eating. In recent weeks, it was revealed that canteens in 1,000 Australian schools have started selling cricket chips produced by a company, Circle Harvest. Students are being encouraged to eat these chips, which are laced with cricket protein, and told by teachers that they are healthy. In a video from one of the schools of 3 young students eating these chips, a teacher can be heard off camera says, "Chips are great, aren't they? And these chips are even better because they think they're better for you." Another teacher is heard saying, "Did you know that they're being made from little insects?" When one of the students replied, "No." The teacher goes on saying, "Can you taste it?" "No, you can't. It tastes normal." It is clear that these people are doing everything they can to normalize eating bugs from a young age. As we all know by now, indoctrination starts early. If you have children in Australian schools, please tell them that eating bugs is not normal and they should steer clear of these products. Meanwhile, a couple scientists, He Cho and Hai Young Park, decided to experiment with different ways of cooking mealworms, seasoning them with amino acids, onion powder, garlic powder, and mushroom powder to create a meaty flavor so they would be appetizing to the general public. Bugs should never be appetizing. They should be disgusting and never consumed. These researchers found that heating mealworms with sugar produced a popular meaty flavor after having each of the methods of cooking the insects evaluated by a group of volunteers who tasted the bugs. The 2 scientists stated that insect farming requires a fraction of the land, water, and feed in comparison to traditional livestock. That's bullshit. You know, right there, that is bullshit alone. How many people are on the planet? You need a lot more, because basically, to maintain the levels of food, this is the same thing when you talk about wind farms and solar. Well, they said, well, no, we can all have this whole situation. You know, we just have to install it on our, but it doesn't generate enough power to maintain heat, electricity. It doesn't. It's not going to. You see, the Germans are already scrambling, trying to get other sources of power in their country, because basically the solar and wind farms are not working to the way they expect it to work. It is, this is, a gimmick. I mean, if you're on your own situation, you're out in the middle of nowhere, you could partially use solar on there, but you won't be able to work everything. And we hear this from third world countries that are using solar panels as well. It doesn't, they have to decide what they can turn on and what they can't turn on. If you're looking for a nutritious drink, look no further than cockroach milk. This is another so-called superfood which claims that it is 3 times as nutritious as cow's milk, buffalo's milk, and even human breast milk. Never seen any research on that. It is apparently a complete source of protein containing all 9 amino acids, and it is being touted as a key to feeding our growing population into the future, despite scientists saying it is infeasible for those who are not insane. This probably isn't the answer to a growing population. Western civilization needs to stop for a moment. Scientists are feeding insects to our children while celebrities produce propaganda videos to support the narrative. In one video from Vanity Fair, Nicole Kidman consumed insects. Staring at the start of the video, "I'm here to reveal my hidden talent, eating micro livestock." She went on to claim 2 billion people in the world eat bugs, and I'm one of them. Noting the term being used to describe insect micro livestock, people pushing insects as food, particular as an alternative to meat, are using this term to make it sound like insects is not out of the ordinary, is essentially equating it to consuming livestock. But it is the same as consuming products from livestock. Not only is the consumption of the bugs not normal and completely unappetizing, it could lead to the spread of parasites. Insects are not meant to be consumed by human beings because they are a great vector for parasites. And this is true. We've heard situations, there are a couple of studies out there where they found out that 30% of the parasites that are in insects can harm animals and human beings. Problem is, we don't know which ones are, of all the ones on there. I mean, we see the stories, we've seen the movies and shit like that out of China. We've seen that, where people are eating scorpions and all that. But is that all good for you? No, not really. Not really at all. For example, crickets and cockroaches can often carry a horsehair worm, which, if ingested by humans, can cause quite a bit of a stomach discomfort and illness. Crickets can also spread salmonella and E. coli, which often cause significant illnesses in humans or even fatal for vulnerable individuals. Mealworms carry diseases as they feed on dying and dead birds. These are also home to Hypnodomus diminuta. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Otherwise known as the rat trap worm, which can infect humans through the ingestion of a carrier. To date, there have been only rare instances of this parasite infecting humans, given it only occurs through accidental ingestion. But if mealworms are turned into a common delicacy, then you can expect more and more people contracting this tapeworm. Now, there's a lot more toward this, and, go check it out over on Spectra Australia. Joel Angelis is on there. But this is the truth. The Great Reset and this whole thing, they're trying to weaken us. Understand that. You think that this is maybe a conspiracy theory. No, think about the situation. Think about what they're trying to do. I mean, I stopped buying Dole juices. I just found this out recently. Dole juice has an extract of cochineal, which they use as a dye, and this is an insect. They're using insects in your juice as an additive. When I buy juice, I want no sugar added. I want it, if it's from concentrate or anything of that nature, I just want it pure freaking orange juice. I don't, when I look at this, the ingredients, filtered water, apple juice, concentrated orange juice, clarified pineapple, concentrated banana puree, and then of course the ascorbic acid. But then when you come down and the cochineal extract, it's like, what the fuck is that? And when you look it up and you're like, it's a bug. It's a bug. And this is happening in health food stores too. There are health foods out there. Be careful for those of you who buy health foods that there are bugs in them as too. When you pick up a particular bag of chips or cereal, look what is in it before you purchase it. Let these big companies know. Let Dole know. We don't want this in here. We don't want to eat bugs. I want to eat a steak every once in a while. And they made it unaffordable, which I can't buy them like as much as I used to. I will eat a pork chop. I will eat chicken. I eat fruits, vegetables, rice, wheat. There are many different things that we have on and the push for them to say, well, it's because society on there, because of our population. No, it's because organizations like the World Economic Forum and stuff like that have kept the poor poor. There was one point, and I forgot which African country it was, that they pushed out the farmers, the white farmers, out of there. They said, and the government, they gave the lands back to they said, we're giving the lands back to the native blacks, the Africans that are on there. And when they took it over, they knew nothing of tilling the land, not to manufacture. And what happened was people started to starve in those countries, and then they brought those farmers back because those farmers went to school. They went to educate themselves. It's not to say that African can't educate themselves on there. They can. In a country where there are plenty of bugs and Africans are gone on starving, that should tell you something. If a third world country doesn't want to eat the bugs, we should not eat the bugs ourselves. There are those in third world countries that do eat bugs because they have no choice in some matters, but a lot of them don't. They rather not, because they know they're already sick as it is due to hunger. They don't need to add on more sickness to themselves. They don't need to add on to this in their lives. We're at a dangerous point right now. And like I said, the elections are around the corner. Know who you're electing. Know what their stance are for. They're trying to stop us from using fuel. They're trying to stop us from using nuclear reactors. They want us to have solar panels and wind on there. They don't want us using more than 66 degrees Fahrenheit temperature in our homes. But see, the thing about it is, and it's all good and dandy if the temperatures are, it's a little cold outside. When it gets below freezing, when it gets into the teens, it gets to zero, below zero, you have no choice. You have no choice to raise the heat because you'll freeze to death. They will kill a good chunk of the population. And you may say, well, no. What they're doing, think about what they're doing. And this is happening. As Californians, the laws that they're pushing out there, they're beginning to kill people at a rate that will become unprecedented in human history. Understand that. This is the control that they want. This is, you look at now, they pushed a law in California where doctors can't give their own opinion. It has to be the opinion of your medical results is according to what the state and what the federal government holds true. That is the most ridiculous thing ever that you're hearing on there. This is why we need change. We need change in the management. We hire these people to run our countries. We are the employer, they are the employees. Remember that first. Always remember that. We hire them to work for us. And you may say, well, you're throwing out these conspiracies. Take a moment and look at what's going on. Look exactly what's going on. I see this every day on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, I've seen it. I've seen it around me. Look at the prices of right now, your supermarket prices right now. How much more are you paying for supermarket prices? Have you gone for supplemental assistance from the state? I bet some of you out there have. They're forcing you on that. Forcing you on many other things because they said, nah, it's good for you. It's good for you. Is it truly good for you? Is it truly? Ask the questions. Be productive. Get out there and start screaming at them. Why are you doing this? Cows haven't heard anything. Cows have been around the planet for a long time. and there have been many other animals before that. You know, are you going to have a lion or tiger stop eating meat? No, of course not. They're going to continue. And many other animals that could consume meat as well. They're not going to stop eating meat. You can't force them, because basically they will get sick and die. And then you're freaking killing off the species. Think about that. Think about that for the moment. And why are they starting with the children? Why are they starting with the children, trying to teach them, you know, eat bugs and sexuality and transgender, you know, all this situation on there. Putting books in school that are, you know, for children that are X-rated, you know. Not teaching them to read, write, and arithmetic. You know, and when they get to college, what are they teaching them? They're teaching them activism. That's why I say when your child gets to a level, those of you old enough that you're leaving high school, you're about to decide college, fuck college, go to trade school, learn to work with your hands. Learn to fix an air conditioner or heating unit system. Learn to fix a car. Learn to build a house. There are many things you can do in your life. And let me tell you something, you will make more than a freaking activist degree in whatever fucking college program you'll end up in that a teacher will tell you to take. So let me know your thoughts below. Have you eaten bugs? Tell me, if you're a bug eater, have you eaten bugs? How do you feel when you eat bugs? Have you felt weirder? Have you felt still hungry? So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, share, and we'll see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in, and bye-bye now.
Silent breed is people! We gotta stop them somehow!